In previously arranged marriages, kind of Indian tradition, previously arranged marriages where the दूल्हा दुल्हन को देखते नहीं थे. They get to know each other's at the time of after the marriages. So at that time they think like the love is starting after the marriages.
I feel that an initial spark is very important. So unless you have that with a potential partner or your husband or wife, it's very difficult to then fall in love. So you definitely need some sort of attraction before marriage in order to sustain the marriage.
Especially for the ladies, like it can be, you think about old time or modern time, but for ladies, like the girl has to go to the guy's home, so it's gonna be new home, new family, new things she gonna see there first time. It will take time to adjust, getting comfortable, and sometimes it's like compromising, understanding.
I think it's at least partially media driven, that depictions of love in the media are very focused on this whole early part where you meet someone, you fall in love and you get towards the point of getting married. So people worry about it, oh, should it go this way where you fall in love? Should it go that way where it's arranged? To a certain extent, it's not that important. How you get to the point of getting married, there maybe needs to be more emphasis on what happens after you're married. How do you be a good husband? How do you be a good wife? And it's, perhaps you shouldn't worry too much if the way that you got to that starting line was not exactly what you saw in a film. It's not really important. What matters is what you do with it.
I don't think that they are actually the obstacles of it. They are part of like traditions of the Indian families. So when you say anything about any Indian marriages or anything like that, these are the three things which comes into fall into the place, which is like a sociality, religious, caste, and everything. Because every religion has a like kind of different caste, and every caste has like a different tradition of marriages. Some of them they are following a different traditions to the some of the others. So I do not think they are an obstacle to having a love marriage or arranged marriages, but they are, I would think like they are actually a supportive element to the both the love and the arranged marriages.
Well, when we were deciding to get married, there were limitations in terms of communication with my mother, who didn't speak that well English, with his parents. So there were fears. In fact, even with his side, they've never been to an Indian wedding before. They don't know what to expect. So there were certain fears as to, or some limitations as to not knowing what to expect. But again, as he said, it doesn't matter really if everything is a fairy tale wedding or a fairy tale media presented story, as long as you are willing to work with each other and each other's families. And that's what happened in our case. My parents spoke to his parents, and they liked each other as families, and regardless of the limitations with communication and differences in culture barriers, differences in cultures, they were still able to maintain a good relationship from the very start, which meant a lot for us.
लव मैरिज में क्या होता है, हमेशा वो हम एक दूसरे की फैमिली को नहीं जानते हैं। लव मैरिज में दो पर्सन ही होते हैं जो पहले मिले हुए होते हैं, उन्हीं का सिर्फ बॉन्डिंग होता है। उसको फैमिली का इतना अंडरस्टैंडिंग या वैसे भी कुछ नहीं होता। और अरेंज मैरिज में क्या होता है कि फैमिली के थ्रू ही आप मिलते हो, फर्स्ट टाइम whatever we can say, then they decided to get that two person like girl and boy, they can stay together.
On what basis is the arrangement being made? Maybe when it's more successful, it's being made on the basis that two different families, they know each other, they know what the children are like. But when it's made more at a distance, then there's a temptation to arrange it through more formal categories or maybe less meaningful characteristics, or through star signs or some nonsense like that, which doesn't really tell you anything useful about whether those two people would make a good couple or not.
हम जैसे किसी से मिले और उसका पसंद हम सडनली हमें पसंद आने लगता है, और उसी बातों पे उसके थॉट, उसके पसंद हमसे मिलते हैं, तो लव तो होना ही है वैसे।
A couple of things. Firstly, love is not a simple on-off proposition. It's a matter of degree, and it tends to grow with time. So I know, for instance, that I fall more in love with my wife every day. And some people, when they get married, maybe they've known each other for years, they're very deeply in love. Some people, maybe they're just at the start of falling in love. And maybe some people, they're not quite there yet, but they will be with time.